When speaking of systemic racism, often people immediately point to law enforcement and the judicial system. Well, today we're going to talk about something that's not focused on as much, but has a distinct effect on communities and the country as a whole. 10 on your sides, Anita Blanton joins us now with tonight's Courageous Conversation. Anita, this is about hunger.
Sure is, Regina. My conversation with Dr. Ruth Jones Nichols, President and CEO of the Food Bank of Southeastern Virginia and the Eastern Shore, was candid and heartfelt as she talked about disproportionate impacts of hunger and food insecurity long before the pandemic that are on full display in recent weeks.
I remember when I started my position 4.5 years ago, someone asked me if they could pray for me. And they then said, well, what should I pray for? And I paused and I said, courage.
You've probably seen Dr. Ruth Jones Nichols any number of times on our air or in the community at various events, beating the drum to rid our communities of hunger. But rarely does she get to peel back the layers of the issues the food bank seeks to address, like this.
Hunger and food insecurity are consequences of systemic issues that we haven't started to talk about as an organization or a community.
And those issues didn't begin when a pandemic stretched people who were already struggling to put food on the table even more. But she says it has illuminated some things that were being overshadowed.
African Americans and other people of color are being hit even harder because of the pandemic. And so for some communities within our service area, we're seeing a spike not only in food insecurity rates for African Americans, but also a spike in unemployment rates, which are directly related to why individuals are struggling to put food on their table.
A struggle further complicated when the few resources that were available disappear.
And was that a Save-A-Lot that was right over there?
The Lot grocery store, yes. Yeah. So we are seeing throughout our service area the proliferation of food deserts. What we know about the St. Paul's area is that you largely have an African American population that is struggling for a variety of reasons. And so this is just another example of something happening to a community that was already struggling. And
redevelopment and revitalization for the area might be in the works. Right now, though, these lines are for help from other community members leaning in to make a way.
You know, this is a time when we need to lean in and not just say, let's feed the hungry or feed the babies or feed the children. We need to look at the systemic issues that have created the circumstances for individuals to live in a place where they don't have consistent access to healthy, nutritious food.
What do you think are some of those systemic issues that contribute to that?
We have housing segregation within our communities. We have segregation in our public education systems. And so these are some of the causes, the root causes that lead to individuals not having access to healthy, nutritious food and other resources that they need in order to improve their quality of life.
To break cycles and prevent people from starting off so far behind. Just look at the statistics for her food bank service area.
Out of every 5 Black or African American individuals lived in a food insecure household prior to the pandemic. That's compared to 1 out of every 12 individuals who are white.
90,000 children qualify for free and reduced price meals in this service area, where the food insecurity rate is projected to rise after the pandemic to 15.7%.
We have moved beyond simply feeding people. When we talk about racial disparities and inequities in our work, we need other folks to join us and to not just say we stand with you or we stand for you, but we need folks to walk on this journey with us as we educate others about the root causes of hunger and food insecurity and then work toward implementing solutions.
Inclusionary housing policies, a thorough review of the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, creating incentives through public policy that encourage businesses to go into communities where it may not be as profitable. She says now is the time to have the courage to talk about it all.
Now, I will say it's somewhat vulnerable right now to be a Black leader and to talk about systemic racism. but I believe it is absolutely the right thing to do, and it is a time to do it. So I'm hoping that we will continue to have courageous conversations with all people of all races and ethnicities, because this movement will require investment from everyone.
And if you were home thinking, well, what can I do right now? Dr. Nichols says start with 4 things. Give food. Donations are low and their grocery store partners don't have the excess right now. Give funds. Your $10 donation equals $60 worth of groceries. Give time. They have a way for you to safely serve. And give voice to these issues to create real change. For now, and in the studio, I'm Anita Blanton. 10 on your side.